All right, so I'm going to start, and people will join us as soon as they move over. So again, thank you all for coming. I'm very excited for tonight. We are here at GitHub. My name is Gabriela de Queiroz. I'm a director of AI at Microsoft, where I work with AI and startups, and I'm based here in the Bay Area. If you don't know, we have monthly events like this. So every month, we are here at this office hosting AI events. And it can be anything from like talks, panel, lightning talks. We had the robots the other day. It was amazing. If you want to know more, there is a QR code that you can subscribe to the calendar and get all the notification. One thing that I ask you all is take pictures, post on social media, and add the hashtag AI Show and Tell, or tag me and I will repost. This is how we do these events. It's like getting you all to participate as well. This event is for all of you. And I'm excited because we have several events coming up. But for this series, the next monthly event is going to be on June 11th. We have Brooke from Koval. She's going to talk about voice and agent. But we have other speakers as well. Also here, the same office here at the GitHub, I'm doing an event with Arise. And I love Aman, and it's going to be a great panel where we talk about the future of AI PM. And then in June 24th, we are going to have something called AgentCon. So we have a bunch of events that you can join. Again, make sure to go to this QR code over here. Take a picture, join, that you get notified for all the events that we have. But if you are not a Luma person, or if you are a Luma, but you also like Meetup, Microsoft has something called Reactor. So we host several events in person and online. And on the Meetup page, we post all the events that we have in person, all the events that we have online. So if you want to know what is happening in the whole world of AI, follow the Meetup. And tonight, we are missing one speaker. It never happened to me in 12 years running events. So first time ever, and I'm going to tell Sam that that's the first time ever that he did this to me. So we'll see. I don't know if we have to come up with a talk. I don't know. I'll see. So tonight we have 3 talks. One from Sofiia, one from Sam, if he comes, and then one from Sri Laasya. And then in the end, we have a panel that was supposed to be with Sam and Sofiia. Again, if he doesn't come, I'll probably ask someone in the audience to come and talk or give a demo. So be ready, because maybe this is your 2-minute chance to sell your product, give a demo for your startup. So I don't know. I'll figure out this in a few minutes, but be ready, because maybe you have the chance to come on stage. And the best thing is, like, this is being recorded, so you can share with the whole world about your talk over here. Without further ado, I want to invite Sofiia Shvets to come and give the first presentation.
Okay, this works. Should I use this one or this? Okay, this one is better because you don't need to like lean forward so people hear you. Hi guys, my name is Sophie. Nice to meet you all. I am the CEO and co-founder of Claid.AI. We are AI product photography and video platform. We work with a lot of e-commerce brands and help them create content that helps them sell. So today I'm going to show a little bit more about what we are doing, and we'll be talking about how we went vertical in building generative AI solutions. So a little bit about us. We started working with generative AI more than 6.5 years ago. We've been very early in the space, starting from more like research and experiments. and then went to productizing and building solutions. We have two tools that work with content, Let's Enhance and Claid, the one that I will delve in today. So far, for 6 years, we processed more than 600 million photos, learned a lot, built a lot of products. We do train our own models, and definitely we work with everything that happens in the open source space, test it, adapt it. You can see some of our clients here on the slide as well. So, as I said, we started in 2018 when the first generation of networks appeared. Well, were called GANs. It's Generative Adversarial Networks. They were a first class of generative AI, even though they didn't have that fancy name back then. But what these GANs could do, they could introduce something to visuals. And we were training them and playing with them and built our first tool called Let's Enhance.io, which is a photo improvement app. We launched it and it went super viral. And we claimed, like, send us your bad-looking photos and we will improve them. So we've got probably the worst content I've ever seen on the market, and we've learned that the technology is still very raw, and we need to improve it. So that's what we've been doing for the next few years. We filed a few patents on working with content, and eventually we focused on e-commerce use case because we had a lot of requests for that, and that's how our second product was born. So currently we have both of them. They are live. You can test them. You can you can register and play with them. Let's Enhance is still one of the most popular upscalers on the market. We needed to build 7 different AI networks to work with different use cases, like text, like faces, scans, all photos. We needed to train for each one of them. And Claid is the product photography platform that we are currently mostly focusing on, where we work with small, medium, and big brands to help them create content for their websites, ads, socials. It has 15 different tools that we can combine in multiple flows. And depends on what you need to do with the content. It can be used for the website, but same images can be used for ads, for, I don't know, Instagram, whatever, Etsy, whatever the use case you have. So definitely, we had a very interesting journey from starting very wide and then moving into more narrow and deep use case. And if I would start the company right now in AI space, I would definitely go vertical, because not more than you can bring more value to users, you can definitely charge more, and it helps you compete with some massive platforms like OpenAI, ChatGPT, or Canva, or somebody that has massive distributions, but they build very on-the-surface solutions. So one of the key aspects of building an AI product is definitely find the problem that exists, and ideally you can measure it with money. In our case, why we decided to focus on e-commerce, it was very clear that visuals sell, and there's a lot of studies that prove that. Like 90% of shoppers, they shop by looking at products, right? If you like it or don't like it, it affects whether you would buy it. So, very clear problem. If you're a brand in US and you want to launch a product, makeup, shoes, whatever, you need somebody to create these photos for you, and it starts with $39 per photo. That's like a starting price. You need to ship your product somewhere. So if we can help them save the money, that's what we can potentially even ask them. So very, very clear monetary value that we could measure. Now our solution is much cheaper. It's like $49 per month for much more photos than one. But it was very easy to measure and understand. So what makes us different from a lot of other AI generators on the market is that everything that we build, and I will show it, we train to work with real products, which is harder in many ways because we cannot change them. If you generate art, small alterations on differences, okay, fine, it's art, right? Who cares? But if you work with products and you change logos or change branding or change colors, people will not use it. They complain and they're like, no, I cannot put it on the website. So we needed to train a lot of really, really specific tools to work with real photos. And it's harder and limiting in some ways, but that's where additional value comes. So we launched the generation tool in the end of 2022. We thought like, oh, problem is clear, it's easy to launch, let's just launch it. But the first products looks like that, not cool. People are like, okay, idea is great, not looking good. So we spent a lot of time, and actually I think we cracked the quality, maybe in eventually that it was good enough in Q3 last year. So it took us 2 years of errors and tries and consistent returns and research to crack that quality. And for us, the key of success is whether people will actually put it on their Instagram. If they actually use it, then we succeed. Then we actually solve this problem. So you can see the jump in quality in 1.5 years. And 2025 is getting even better because we can use, we moved not just from photos, we added short videos, and we added humans, which everybody wants. People want humans, and they don't look creepy, and they look like real humans, which was great, and we definitely saw it immediately in the usage. So let me show you how it works. And I will be demoing the tool, and as Cedric mentioned, there's a lot of founders or people who want to build products in the space. I will comment some of our decisions and some of our insights that we had along the way. So we work with products, and we have a lot of tools. And there is always a big challenge for any AI product, how much do you want to expose to the user, and how much do you want to guide the user. So eventually, our product looked like this. You had an upload window, and you have the bunch of tools that were just on the left panel. Seems simple, right? But the moment we added a homepage and actually showed what will happen with the tools, our adoption increased by 30%, even though these tools were already there. So which actually showed that the more visual and simplistic and self-explanatory tools are, people will more use them, at least on the first adoption stage. Okay, so let's create something. So the flow that we have is very simple. We upload the product first, and we need to work with that product before we generate something for something like lifestyle looking. So if the product is not good quality, you can improve the quality. You can also fix light, because a lot of our users, they shoot on phones, and it's not looking very good, so we have a network that kind of fixes it. Then next stage is removing the background. So definitely if you fail on this stage, everything else doesn't matter, because you cut the part of the product, again, not usable. So we needed to build, besides significantly improving and investing into background removal, we needed to build a cool form of background removal that I haven't seen that people have them, which uses prompt to guide what actually is the product. Because if you have like 5 products on the photo, which ones should we keep, which ones should we remove? So we use an LLM model that can guide the background removal underneath, and you can specify like just keep the shoe or keep this bottle, remove everything else, and yeah. It gives much more control that just removing something and praying that it will work, because mostly it will not, not in all cases. Yeah, so that's the step 1. The next one that we build is actually generating a product. So as we have a small AI LLM agent here that can recognize what kind of product it is, and then generate the new background and suggest the new background for that particular product. We needed, the way how we work, which is different from how a lot of AI generators work, we work around the product. So we needed to build a really, really sophisticated in-painting model that kind of can work around this whole area, and we can talk more about that. But we cannot touch the product, and we need to really, really blend it in into the new environment. So it looks like it actually belongs there. If the image is not perfect, which in a lot of cases it's not, we also needed to build new types of brushes that can work and like correct something. You can fix something if you don't like. But one aspect that was not trivial is if you try to remove something in Photoshop, it will remove the product. But we need the product. That's our key value. So we needed to build a system that kind of separates the product from the background, and we have this small toggle that says preserve the product. So even if you draw around the product, it will stay there. People mostly don't understand that, but we needed to give them this level of additional control. In API, it's all by default. So as you can see, I draw around the shoes, but they are still there. We haven't changed them, and that was very, very important for us. Yeah, so that's how we have the lifestyle photography. We can also use templates instead of prompts, because some clients, especially in the big clients, they all want control, and they were like, oh, you generate something random. How can I make sure that nothing risky is there? And we were like, fine, you can send us an image that we will use as a reference, and we can just put it, like just reuse it, or just create some variations of that are more photorealistic. So we built a system that can just have few creativity levels and can go really, really close to the original or a little bit with some differences. And that's how some of the biggest brands use us, and without like shaking, like, what if there will be something scary there? No. If you haven't uploaded yourself, it will be still the same template that you use, just with some differences. And the last one that I wanted to show is something that we launched actually today, is fashion models, because humans are big ask for all brands. They sell clothes, they sell shoes, they sell accessories. They want to show humans, and humans were super hard. Historically, it was one of the hardest parts because they need to look real. If they look too AI generated, nobody will use them. And first thing that we launched a few months ago was train custom models, when we were like, just show us like 10 images of your product. We will train Laura, like a small model on that, and we will generate on this. In theory, that was fine and easy. However, we've learned that people don't have 10 images per product. They don't want to shoot them. They have like 2. And they were like, can you do something with 2? And we cannot, because it's not enough data. So we needed to find another way, and we launched AI fashion models that uses, actually, we built it, the first version, on top of OpenAI's model. However, where the biggest value comes is that people don't want just random humans. They want humans with the aesthetic that fit their brand. So we built a library of models. We generated them in different poses. And now you can select the model that you like, that fits your aesthetic style. You can upload the product. You can potentially even ask for specific background. And we will generate the model varying your product. So there's a lot of ways how to make it more advanced. But one of the solutions that we've learned along the way, that if you can launch something with existing API, go for it. You will learn a ton, and then you can fix it yourself. Yeah, so that's what we do, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Sophie. So we have a few minutes for questions. If you have any question, you can raise your hand, and we'll pass the mic for you to ask questions. Oh, over here. There's one here. I'll go with you.
Okay. A great product, great presentation. So you talked about the need for vertical models, right? Because that's how kind of you can differentiate and build or have better output. But how do you deal with general purpose models evolving over time, right? Because I'm sure a lot of us are kind of building on top of existing models. You are obviously training them, so you have more control, right? But there's always this kind of, no matter how verticalized you get, right, there's going to be a general purpose model which is going to train on like much more data than you have and kind of outpace the kind of the data that you can train on, right? So how do you how have you dealt with that in the past?
Yeah, that's a great question, and actually, I think it's like, well, when you build a product, you should assume that if your main difference is that you build something like small, and you should assume that the model will get better, and we see that they will get better. However, what we've learned is we work with very specific use case. It's we think that people see the news and they test these models, but even with relatively simple cases, we learn that they don't know how to prompt, and like you can do what I've shown, you can do it in ChatGPT, right? Because we tested it, but you need to know how to generate the model that will look like a human. Various poses with same character, it's another thing, it's hard, like it's not trivial. You need to know what to ask and what to prompt, and we sell to business owners. If we can solve this for them, they're fine paying us additional like $49 if we can solve this for them. There's a lot of additional steps that you can do, but it's a big misconception that like the more specific your especially business-oriented case is, if you solve a few extra learning steps for the users, that's already additional value. Yeah, OpenAI will get better, but they will not advertise to just e-commerce users or just lawyers or just, there's a lot of value of just simplifying the curve and the adoption. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was just curious, how much are you planning on kind of taking this to, maybe I haven't dug into your documents, but I'm assuming this is all hands-on interactive. A user has to go in and look at it. Have you considered, or do you currently allow like APIs to come in and access this level, give you the image, output an image without necessarily the human having to fully interact with it?
Yeah, we actually have API for most of the stuff that we build. Because like we work with different categories of clients. We have like Shopify shops that it's easier for them to do, like they have 20 products. They will not build API. But we also work with marketplaces, we work with advertising platforms. They need everything automatically. So we found that combination of the tools that we have and some AI agents that like can look on every product, can prompt for the product and generate visuals and generate like four different visuals for that particular product, brings a lot of value, and we work with a lot of companies like that. We actually started from that when we were doing more simple editing like background removal, fixing quality. We started from that, and then we launched more generative tools, yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. Here. Yeah, can you elaborate more about how you collect training data for these models and also the evaluation metrics that you would use?
Yeah, it really depends on the type of the problem that you want to solve. Sometimes, like this one is the API that we use. We actually have another technology that we're working, which is try-on. In that case, you need to generate models in different body types. You need to select the data that solve the problem. Yeah, sometimes we buy them. Sometimes we generate it ourselves. So.
What about the evaluation metrics? How you would make sure that you could generalize to the different features that the users might ask for, like for different backgrounds or different environments?
How do we make sure that we sorry, can you repeat one more time?
Yeah, so because it seems that like every user that comes to the platform, they might ask for different features or different backgrounds. how the evaluation metrics that you would use to measure the improvement of your model be representative of all of those different use cases?
Yeah, there are several ways. So we have internal data set that is kind of a as we work with specific case, it's easier than trying to hit all solutions. But when we launch something, we have an internal set where we test the tool before releasing it. And if it hits like 95% accuracy, you're like, okay, good to go. We also we work with some of our clients. They provide us their data. One of our clients that I think I can name is DoorDash. They send us, okay, here's our set of data, and we kind of co-create some tools together because they have a big interest of getting it solved, and for us, okay, that's the data that we have ready. So it really depends on the tool. But yeah, as we have pretty specific audience, it was relatively easy for us to create a set, like a control set, to test everything that we release. And if it's not good enough, okay, one more level, like let's train more.
Thank you. We have one more question, and then we'll move to the next speaker.
Yeah.
Love it, Sophie. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing also your insights. I think those are very valuable. I'm curious, how big is your tech team?
We are 15 people.
In all tech?
No, actually, engineers 12. We are relatively lean.
Thank you.
All right, Sophie, thank you so much. I love it. We'll go to our next speaker, Sri Laasya. And to be honest, I'm very excited for all the speakers tonight. So I hope you are enjoying. Sophie, great product. Can't wait to try it out. Let's see. And it happens to all of us. We have so many things. There you go.
All right.
Oh, I see.
I think it's probably sharing the wrong screen. Let's see. It's fine. Okay, there you go. I'll take this. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. Really, really glad to be here. I am Sri Laasya, and I build agents at AgentOps. So I'm here today representing AgentOps. Quick question for the crowd. How many of you have built agents in the past? Quite a few. Amazing. How many of you have built agents for your companies or are a founder of an agentic startup? Okay, quite a few people. Amazing. So today, for anyone who has built agents and haven't built agents, I'm going to be doing a really quick demo on how you can spin one real quick in under 10 minutes and also integrate AgentOps with it. But before that, I'm going to start the presentation by introducing what AgentOps is, what do we do, and a little bit about us. All right, so AgentOps essentially as a company consists of 3 core components. The first one is Agent Stack, which is our framework for building AI agents. We support all kinds of orchestration frameworks, including Crew, LangGraph, AutoGen, more recently OpenAI's Agents SDK, Google ADK, and a bunch of other stuff. It essentially helps you spin up any agent with any of these frameworks super easily. I'll dig deeper into each of these in a bit. AgentOps is our core monitoring and observability platform. So it understands your agentic workflow, puts evals in space, and also gives you all kinds of metrics, including your token counts, prompts, input prompts, and output prompts, and kind of like helps you debug your agents a lot better. And agencies are consulting firms, so we also build agents for all different types of use cases. We have enterprise clients, large P&E firms, and Fortune 500 clients for both the agency and AgentOps in place. All right, let's talk about Agent Stack first. The easiest way to understand agent stack is through this infographic right here. For any agent to work, we initially have the LLM layer. So we support over 500 LLMs. And then we have a we usually use frameworks. We support any and every kind of framework today that exists, including Crew, LangGraph, as I mentioned, a bunch of them. And then we also have tools, added functionality inbuilt. Some of our most famous ones are listed here, including Firecrawl, Mem0, Stripe, etc. And then obviously we have the observability stack, which is AgentOps. So this is a very easy way to like spin agents using agent stack, where all of this is already aggregated. One of our core demos, there was this VC who asked us to build an underwriter for a mortgage, an agent that does underwriting and pre-approval processes, and I had built a demo for this. You can find this on Twitter, but like in the context of time, I'm gonna skip this. We're gonna go to the hands-on demo part. Okay, so essentially this demo made use of GPT, and this is the stack that we used to build this demo real quick. We used the Crew.AI as our framework, which is probably one of our most popular frameworks, and then a bunch of tools, and our observability stack, which is AgentOps. So this is what we do. I personally have built over 15 agents in just the last few months as part of AgentOps, so I'm gonna like whip one up right now, so you guys can also be part of it. All right, talking about AgentOps as a platform, we're gonna dig deeper into this platform during the demo, because I'm gonna like use the dashboard and make you see how we integrate well with agents. And the reason why we built this is because building agents is hard, and let alone debugging agents, understanding the LLM workflow, it's just all a black box. So we essentially have our most common feature called as the waterfall diagram, which we'll get to in a bit, that decodes this whole entire workflow in a really, really nice way, helps you understand what kind of cost did it take you for each of your prompts, what are some of the token counts, and a bunch of other metrics that we'll get to in a bit. So yeah, these are all just painful users complaining about not having enough observability, so yeah. These are just the features of AgentOps. I'm just rushing through this because I really want to get to the demo, and I think you guys will love it. These are some of the features that we offer: secure and scalable deployments, automatic on-prem or anything that integrates with your stack. We have replay, analytics, and debugging. We do LLM cost management, and then we do agent benchmarking using eval test data sets and a bunch of other stuff. We do compliance and security for your AI agents, and integrates well with any kind of framework. This is our platform, but I'll just do a live one, just a video for reference. And yeah, we have the three major features of AgentOps today is that we give end-to-end insight, something that doesn't exist in any of our competitors yet, which is beyond just simple LLM call tracing. We do the entire workflow tracing and multi-agentic interactions. So that makes it easier for you to like just get a quick view and understanding on how and where debugging is necessary. And then we do real-time debugging, and we also do cost control for a lot of business oriented or founders who are building AI agents. It's just a good way to like get an ROI analysis of where and how are you getting benefits based on these agents that you build. Agencies just our consulting arc, and we just recently built a customer support agent for one of India's largest travel companies, which automated 80% of free tier support queries using AgentOps. And AgentOps also validated every agent's AI response and achieved higher customer satisfaction than human support. So this is what we do. We rapidly prototype because we have an internal existing agent stack orchestration framework setup, which is also open source, by the way, which I would highly urge you guys to take a look at and start building your agents right away. And then we do rapid evals, deployment, and observability, and then kind of immediately scale to a production-grade agent. So let's get to building an agent. All right, I think I'm going to use this for this. OK. Before I get into, am I audible? OK, perfect. Sorry. before I get into building an agent, I'm going to give you a glimpse on what we're going to be building today. We're going to be building a real estate agent. So, okay, no problem. Okay, I'm just going to use this. Okay, perfect. Okay, is it better now? Okay, great. Logistics. Okay. So today we're going to be building a real estate agent that kind of, imagine you're going to a new city. You want to know more about neighborhoods. You want to scour through open rental or lease.
Sorry, it's still not good.
Not great.
So yeah, I can hold for you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm good. Don't worry about it. Thank you very much. All right. So today we're going to be building a real estate agent. So imagine you're going to a new city, have no idea what neighborhoods are good, what neighborhoods you'd want to be living in, and also are looking for incredibly cheap and affordable sublets or apartments. So we're going to be building an agent that does all of this for us using web search. And I'm going to be using OpenAI's Agents SDK as the framework. I'm not sure how many of you have used it. Has anyone used this before to build an agent? Okay, only a couple. No problem. It's new. So I'm going to be teaching you how to use this today. Okay, so this framework essentially has 3 core components. The first one is agents, obviously, which are your LLMs that does the task for you. And then there's handoffs. So imagine there's a supervisor agent that is routing each of your user prompts or queries to the respective agent. So in this case, we will be building a property agent that gives you property information and listings. We'll have a mortgage agent that will help you understand your mortgage options. And there'll be a neighborhood agent that will help you understand which neighborhoods are good and decent for you to be, you know, probably some of you want good school districts, some of you want good Italian food options. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So the supervisor agent kind of routes your prompts accordingly to each of these agents, and that's what handoffs help us do. And finally, we have guardrails, a very, very important feature because you want to keep your input prompts and output prompts structure in check. So imagine you have a multi-agentic system that's, you know, giving out JSON responses, and somehow one of your LLM hallucinates and doesn't give out a JSON response. So that's where guardrails come in, so that doesn't happen and your system doesn't break. So I'm going to be using a couple of these today for this example, and let's get started. Okay, probably need a better mic because I need to code. Is this better? No? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Sorry,
I wish there was a better way.
The podium mic will work if you back away from it a little bit.
Oh, okay. Is this better? Can you guys hear me? Okay. Sounds good? Okay, amazing. All right. So let's just import agents. Well, let's just import from agents. We'll be importing. I love cursor. It just makes my task so easy. And I've done this a bunch of times, so I think it's memorized by now. So these are just a bunch of stuff that our agent would need to run the task. So here, the agent is the agent itself. Runner is the one that executes these agents using the prompts that you send in. And web search tool is the tool that we'll be using. All right. Now a bunch of random imports to import your environment, OpenAI keys and stuff like that. So I'm just going to do tab. OK, perfect. All right, my OpenAI key is already in my .env file, so that's good there. Well, OK. OK, that's my bad. Alrighty, now it's good. And now we're going to be integrating AgentOps with this, and I'm going to show you how it tracks the entire workflow. And this is the most easiest part, trust me. We just import the AgentOps key. Uh-oh. I don't work well under pressure, so. Now we'll initialize AgentOps, which is literally agentops.init, and you pass in the AgentOps key, and that's all it needs to track your entire workflow. All right, now let's get to the interesting part. Did we not? well, we didn't import AgentOps. Kind of really important. All right. So now we're going to be building our agents. So let's just call our first agent as the property agent. And we do this by using the agent import that we did. And now every agent has a name. So we got to give it a name, which is property agent. We will give it instructions, which will be your prompt. So in this case, you're not a real estate agent. I want you to be a property agent, and you're responsible for finding me the best property for the user. And after instructions, which is your prompt, we give it the tools that it needs to use. And in this case, I'm only going to be using one, which would be the web search tool that I'll be making use of to actually make this. Let's make our lives easier. Let's call this web search and initialize the tool here. All right, that'll make our lives a lot easier. OK. And that's pretty much it. This is how I created my property agent. Now I'm going to do mortgage agent the same way. And I'm going to do a neighborhood agent that does the same thing in the same way. See, I love cursor. Now let's just have a real estate agent, which would be the core supervisor agent that I'm talking about that routes each of your queries into each of these sub-agents. So let's just do this. And we will the tool would still be the web search. And the handoff, no, this is wrong. We do handoffs, give it off to mortgage agent, neighborhood agent, and the property agent that we just built. All right, so we have all the agents we need. Any questions so far? I'd love to take them. But I'm going to be giving it an input query. Let's just say I want 2-bedroom. I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to use Whisperflow for this. I want a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in San Francisco in under $4,000 a month. OK. It looks a little ambitious. We'll see what it comes up with. Well, it's SF, so. All right, so let's do the result equals await. Well, this is kind of needed for OpenAI to do parallel processing. It's a Python thing. If you guys don't know Python, I'm sorry. We do await runner dot run, and we call the real estate agent, and we send in the input as the input, and we just print the result. It's really this easy. And now we're gonna, well, technically you should be able to import a bunch of stuff, the ones that I imported here. But I already have them in my laptop, so I'm not going to go through all that. I'm just going to activate my, virtual environment. All right, source. I'm not sure. Are you guys able to see this? Sorry. All right. Source.v. I'm sorry, my typing is usually faster. I'm just too stressed. All right, so now we run this file and pray to God that it works. Real estate agents.py. It didn't, because something's outside a function. Well, I don't think we need this. Let's see if this works. Amazing. Wait, sorry. Did I? You know what? I'm gonna. This is why I have a backup file, which runs. Anyway, let's just use that file, I guess. Oops. That's the wrong file name. Oh, OK, it worked somehow. I'm not going to question this. OK, So what real estate information are we looking for? This is the other file. So this file is a lot better because it takes input from the command line. That's literally the only difference. I can go through that as well. So let's just say I'm looking for 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments in San Francisco in under $4,000 a month. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. So now it's going to do its usual thing, go scour the web, use the web search tool to do that, and give us responses. And I'm going to see how good the responses are going to be. All right, there we go. Not sure if any of you live here. If you do, then this is not me. This is OpenAI. So, all right. The first option is something called the Quinn SF, which doesn't exist. So, again, that's not on me. There's a cafe, apartment or condo, which is closed at 101 Polk Street. And there's some random addresses, which we need to be. Okay, this looks like a legit link. Let's see. Okay, this works. So I can ask about neighborhoods. Can you tell me which neighborhoods are good for someone who's in their 20s, good nightlife, has good Italian food options in San Francisco? And let's see what it brings us. Honestly, I'm not even sure. I would love to know about this myself. Again, it's using the web search tool. Okay, the first option is, North Beach. I'm actually, yeah, impressed. I like North Beach. And then there's Marina somewhere. Oh, there's also Italian pizza options, which is amazing. And then nightlife in North Beach, additional neighborhoods to consider, Mission. So yeah, does a pretty good job. And I made your lives easier by actually spinning up a Streamlit app for this. Which will open the exact same thing, which uses the exact same code with just a front-end user interface, and which works the exact same way. Find me apartments. I'm gonna actually do this. All right. This is a very vague query, but I'm just, okay, it asks me which city. I'm gonna say SF. All right, so, well, it's essentially the same thing. So I wanna go back to my, before I go back to my presentation, very important, AgentOps. Let's see what it tracked during our conversation. So every time I integrate this with AgentOps using these 2 lines of code, literally, it gives you a session ID or a session replay link on your command line interface that you can use to go to our dashboard, which shows you our complete agentic workflow. Not right now. That was just for consumer requests. It's loading. I'm gonna try the previous link, actually, the one we used on our command line interface. Let's see about that. This is the trace. All right, so this is our entire agentic workflow, and this is our waterfall graph. So you can see this is the LLM call, the one in blue color. So you can see this is the completion for someone in their 20s seeking vibrant nightlife, North Beach. This was our second query that we sent in, and so it does a pretty good job of tracking all of this. We also have a raw JSON format for anyone who wants to plug these results in as a data file. There's the duration that it took to run this, the model that we used, the cost, the completion, token counts, and how many tokens did we use, and a bunch of other. If you actually look at our overall dashboard, this is the project that I'm in right now, you see our span end states, how many of them have failed, how many of them have succeeded, and total trace distribution, and a bunch of other metrics that are very useful. We also have an enterprise tier, so we also build custom data or custom dashboards for you guys if you need some on-premises or proprietary, if you have proprietary data. So that's about AgentOps, and now I'm gonna go back to my presentation really quick because I wanna show you guys something. All right, so this is the GitHub link where you can access the agent that I built in case anyone's really interested in trying and testing this out. It also has the Streamlit app in it, so you can literally just clone the repo and try running it, and it would work. So yeah, that brings to the end of my presentation, and I'm down, oh, oops, wrong file I've had. Yeah, I'm down to take any questions.
Thank you so much. Of course, we all want to build this. I want to build this because it seems so easy.
It
I know.
is.
And like, I think it took me like 10 years to be able to do live coding in front of people. So kudos to you. So Sam is here. He made it. There is a lot of things going on in the city today, 2 big conferences, traffic, and all of that. So we have time for a few questions, and then after a few questions I have, before calling Sam, I have a question for you all. But do you have any questions for Laasya?
Oh, absolutely. No worries.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for sharing this. This is great. I had a question related to just ethical AI. So when you're building a real estate agent, obviously, you know, if you're leading different people to different neighborhoods, that's redlining. So like, how do you think about ethical AI? Are you using any of the frameworks? Are you doing any testing with these agents?
I'm trying to understand your question a little better. So when you say ethical AI, because right now the way this agent works is using web search tool, which is an inbuilt tool or an inbuilt feature of the framework. So it's essentially anything that we ask ChatGPT, it's the same.
So I totally understand that, right? But when
Yeah.
you're putting a frame on it, then you're potentially liable for the results, right?
Yeah, okay, I understand your question better now. So if you do want to build this for an actual consumer use case or a production use case, we definitely have evals, guardrails, and a bunch of test sets that you can put in place to be able to tackle situations or conflicting, borderline, problematic queries that can be rerouted easily.
Are you using any
AgentOps.
like ethical frameworks or like what are your?
It's really custom. I think every individual use case kind of has its own legal guidelines in place. So maybe RAG agents should be able to help better, where you can provide guidelines beforehand, saying that these are my strict guidelines on something that you have to answer about, something that you don't want to answer. Have LLMs as judge in place to be able to kind of reiterate and check every response that your LLM agent gives back, and yeah, I think that should be a good way. But I don't know of any existing data sets that do this. Sorry.
And I can add a little bit, and that's exactly it. So like when you are creating the agent, you also on the instruction, you can add some guidelines, and then you can say you only answer about this. All the other things you are not going to answer. You are not going to do this, this, and this. So you say, like all the things that you can do, all the things that you cannot do on the instructions type of file. But as far as I know, there is no library or package. It's all like prompt in a way.
Yeah. And just to add on to what Gabriela said, there's also guardrails feature of OpenAI that actually does a very good job of like filtering out the prompts. So maybe just take a look at that.
To look at, you know, the responses as well, and I think it'd be interesting to have a framework where you kind of do that inbuilt within.
Which is a fair point. I think they're getting closer with initiatives like guardrails in place. But yeah, I'd love to. Like,
and there are some products like I can tell, like Azure, we have some guardrails in place, so you don't have the issues, and you have everything in place as soon as you are building things together. Any other question? Oh, yeah, go.
So first of all, congrats. You know, it's hard to do it live. I definitely will give a try.
yeah.
My question is more a curiosity on, as you guys are building agents, I noticed that the OpenAI framework is pretty similar to Crew.AI. That's the one I'm using to it. Can you comment a bit on your thoughts on, you know, differences between them, like what you're learning so far? Just curious about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Crew is one of our most used frameworks, both on AgentStack and on AgentOps. And I've personally used Crew a lot before I've made a move to OpenAI's Agents SDK. Crew fundamentally, I think, offers a lot of other functionalities like deployments, also state management, and a bunch of other tasks that you would probably need if you were to spin a production-grade agent. OpenAI is relatively newer into the space. It launched like 2 months ago, and they've been actively trying to contribute and build over this. One of my favorite features of OpenAI that I wanted to really showcase today was the web search feature, something that Crew doesn't have today. OpenAI's web search tool is a great alternative to existing solutions like Perplexity's API or Exa's API or any other web search tool that's out there. And I think Google ADK that's recently launched also is kind of competing in that space because, you know, it's a lot easier with Google search. But I think if you were to build a production-grade agent that has a lot more functionality and feature and in-depth, including state management and memory dealing with any kind of memory storage and stuff like that, it's a lot easier with Crew for sure. It also does a good trace on the command line interface for each of these agents, shows you the input and the output. But it's always better to use an observability solution like AgentOps to be able to understand what's going behind the scenes. But ultimately, I think OpenAI is just well used for the web search use case, and it also has computer use integrated as one of the tools as well, something that is worth checking out. But it's relatively newer, so that's my 2 cents.
Thanks a lot.
Of course.
All right, so thank you so much for your presentation. I always love your presentation, and I always learn something new. And we are kind of like trying to decide what to do. So I will ask you a question. We have 2 options now because we don't have enough time, believe me or not. So we either have Sam's presentation or we have a panel with Sophie and Sam, who are founders of startups. So I'm going to ask you to raise your hands if you want Sam's talk and not the panel about agents. Huh? Okay, so talk, no panel. Like, please help me count. But okay, so panel and not talk. Oh my goodness! Okay, so we'll have Sam over. Come over.
I don't remember her name at the moment, but apologies to the other founder who we did not get time for the panel for. But things happen. Yeah, actually, I walk around a lot, so this would be better. All right, let's hope something embarrassing doesn't pop up. It's happened before, unfortunately. I love you. Thanks, Mom. Okay. Who here has heard of Arcade.dev? Show of hands. Love it. Love it. It's pretty oh, you're going to make me go and get a Wi-Fi? No. I don't even need it. It's fine. Phone Wi-Fi it is. Hotspot. Going to need my phone, though. Oh, it's already up here. Okay. So, you just heard about some built-in tools in OpenAI. Anybody notice how every single demo that they put out uses get weather? Kind of weird, right? Why would they do that? What does get weather not have dependencies on? Okay? What does get weather as a tool do? Input string, output string, right? It's not complicated. It's not an insanely computationally expensive, nor secure, nor needing of authentication, nor needing of a particular runtime or place or computational hardware. There's nothing about retrieving from an API that getting the weather needs. And so this is why it's in every demo. Because that API itself is one of the only APIs ever that doesn't even require an API key. Because no one needs to get the weather that much. That is how much they're like, it's fine. It's not like we're going to get DDoS. It's a weather API. That is where the demos get to. And so a long time ago, I started to ask myself, like, why does no one else give a better demo. And why is it Get Weather? Like, why are these tools we're giving these agents, this is like 2 years ago, why are these tools so bad? Like, Google search is actually the best thing we're doing right now? And like, I did a lot of RAG implementations. I led the vector database team at Redis for 3 years, and I did a lot of vanilla RAG, just trading the generalization for the possibility of hallucination. I'll still sell it to you, but I wouldn't use it. Fact is, BM25 is how you're going to use it to check the answers and citations you're going to look for anyway. So it's really like not a great set of tools. And so I went off on a journey to find out how. How do I find and make better tools? And I did not land where I thought I would land, which was squarely in Okta auth land. And I'll tell you why. This talk is called How to Make Agents Useful, and I'm going to blitz through a bunch of explainers. So if you have questions, I will spend as much time as you want afterwards. First off, what's an agent? An agent composes of, in my opinion, this might be spicy for some of you, some type of text, some type of orchestration system. It can be hand-rolled and just conditionals. It doesn't have to be some fancy thing. Some type of language model, obviously. Now this is where it gets spicier. Tools. An agent does not have agency if it cannot do anything other than produce text. And to do anything, it needs to have a place where those tools run. Now, why am I separating this from the tools? Because no one does that. You notice we just pumped that problem to Harrison and Jerry for the last like 3 years? Lane chain and llama index? Yeah, we just didn't care. And they ran inside Python and JavaScript where it's not the best runtime. So what's better? Well, I'm just going to quickly mention the other components that people are going to get mad at me for not including. What's a function? Really don't have time for this, but essentially it's f of x equals y. Okay, what is a tool? It's f of x equals y. You put in x, large language model predicts x, you get y. What is a tool definition? It encompasses these 3 components. These 3 components notably leave out the ability to run it. Tool calling, isn't that making no one else kind of mad that they called it tool calling? Doesn't call the tool. Like, really? This is the process of tool calling I'm going to run through really quickly. This is the most important part after the LLM has predicted those parameters and it wants to go and execute that tool. What happens? It's just an exercise for the developer. That's not great. You just have to run your own stuff now. And then most of the time you have to go back to the LLM provider. And this is what I'd call a standard LLM or tool augmented generation loop. You run some tool, you then augment the results of another LLM call with the results of that tool. So you call a tool and then augment the results of another LLM call with that tool. Pop quiz. Anybody? Give me $100 if you can tell me the answer right now. 3, 2, 1. Oh, well, an LLM can't do it either. Not even O1 Mini. Seriously, it's abysmal. Yet you give 3.5 Turbo a multiply tool in Python that's tiny. 100 out of 100 every single time. Does that not kind of blow your mind? It did for me when I was testing this. I couldn't understand why there weren't more useful tools and why everyone was like, models, 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 models. Oh, the only things are models. Models are the only thing that matter. Really? There's some abilities they're not good at. And that really simple tools combined with efficient runtimes and calling systems could completely conquer and no longer make those benchmarks relevant ever again. You notice how we keep making up benchmarks, crushing them, and then make more benchmarks, then crushing them? Well, tools can make 90% of today's benchmarks irrelevant when used correctly. I'm going to skip through the travel plate, Andrew. I'm sorry we don't have time. But the whole point is, what does it require to build this that we don't have today? Auth integration, auth integration. That's what I kept finding, is that everything I wanted to build required 2 things. It had to be able to go get my stuff from the place I was using. My Amex account, my travel, my EA website thing that I use. I had to log in as me and be able to communicate with that website And browsers were not taking the approach that I needed. I needed to call a lot of APIs over and manipulate the data, call another API, and do so with OAuth tokens that represented me, but through an agent. And that is where I landed on this insight, which is that agents should not just be able to work for you, which is what they do mostly today. They need to be able to work as you. And this is why auth became so important. And that essentially is what Arcade.dev is. I'm going to really quickly walk through an agent example of auth here, but this is your get weather function essentially, or your Google search. The things that most of us do today. If you go look at every Crew.AI, LangChain, and Llama Index tool, it's probably something like this, unless they're saving a credentials.json to the file system, like in a totally secure way. Which, please don't, that's a joke. Don't do that. Like, that's inherently unsafe to save your long-lived tokens to a file system, or as a static environment variable, which people like Smithery continue to think is a good approach. Please come talk to me, guys. We're MCP compatible. We'll help you with that. This is what happens when you introduce OAuth. Suddenly, these purple boxes, boom, 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 boom. They are all things you're responsible for. Auth, integration, who's the user, how's the user using me? And they all have to be a part of the flow. You ever heard of Pixie? Yeah, everybody does it differently. It's a standard that no one wants to do the same way. It's like tons of these different auth pieces. I had to get 5 people from Okta to do this. I'm serious. My team is largely like a reincarnation of Okta. Anyway, this has led us to try to make this problem easier. This problem is the problem I'm talking about. Static environment variables. What's your OAuth drive token? Everybody seen this hard-coded scopes? Just, the highest level of privilege for your bot to your Gmail. That includes delete all. That's a scope. To a bot. Yeah, think about it for a second. You could just nix your Google Drive with a bad tool call. Well, putting these in your process is inherently unsafe. This is shout out Smithery, love you guys. Another one, let's just cache all our tokens in the front end. I mean, I've got a million examples. Just throw in a security node in there. That makes it okay. So what happens with Arcade? We just try to make this easier. This is what we did. We built an intermediary, it's middleware. So you go back to pretty much only caring about the get weather example. And if they're not authorized, you get a link, show it to your user, and everything becomes the same thing. This enables you to use Google Drive, Slack, Office, Microsoft, GitHub. GitHub's one of our most popular ones. Any service you're like, damn, I wish if the agent did that, we probably got HubSpot, Salesforce, et cetera, et cetera. And all this requires is manually going one by one by one by one by one, like we did over the last 2 years, and making an auth integration and a tools integration, which are the 2 things that you need to be able to effectively do something with an agent as an end user on a specific service. So auth integration. Okay, so I have a bunch of examples, but I'm gonna stop because I know it's 8 o'clock. I don't know. Okay, I still have time. Okay, well, then I got a bunch more stuff. Well, anyway, feel free to use the card here. Okay, let's give you some examples. Ground this home because I probably sound like I'm just rambling, right? Okay. Have you ever noticed how LangChain got really active on their social media recently? Social media bot. So how do they post to Twitter as the company account? How do they authenticate when that agent needs to go to Twitter? You seen Agent Inbox? Or what's the other one? I forget the name of it. But the social media manager built by LangGraph and built by LangChain using LangGraph and Arcade, it posts at one time, goes out to the world, curates all their content, make me a post on Human in the Loop, goes gets the content, makes a post, generates a report, and then it waits in an agent inbox like UI until someone says go. And then Arcade will post to LinkedIn, post to Twitter, post to Slack, post to X. They have never gotten a client secret RID. They have never statically stored an invar. They have never had to do any of the processes by which they could do so in, say, like MCP prior to 2 weeks ago. Technically, I don't think the tool auth is merged into MCP, but we're getting there, actively working on it. So in this way, you can have an agent ambiently, which is the word I think we're going to go with in this space, in the background that is constantly doing the job of a social media manager for your company, for your CEO, for your CTO, for whoever. And it's because now that those people have said at this specific action with these specific scopes and claims, not giving it all Google tokens, my token to do this action for this service perfectly scoped into the claims and permissions of that action for that user, I have been approved. And now there is the exact security standard that every DevSec team in the world is going to go ask you for when you get into an enterprise contract. And trust me, Red has had a lot of those. And so that was one learning I took away, was that you're not going to make the sale if you don't have the stuff the DevSec team asked for. Another one, Archer for Slack. This one's really fun. I use it every day. If you, I need a scheduling one apparently. Apologies about that again. But this one, it's it's amazing in that I never go to GitHub. At least directly. Someone says, oh, I just put up that PR on the engine. I just say, it's a private repo, right? That's the closed source binary of Arcade. When I say, go give me the latest engine PR, brings me the link. Like I never open a browser directly, and it's all in Slack. I'll show you an example. This is gonna go super fast, FYI, because, okay, yeah, that's way too fast. I sped this up and then regretted it. Okay, this is Archer. Hopefully this is somewhat visible. Oh no. Oh no. Well, you know what? Why don't I just show you live? That's better anyway, right? Everybody's. Oh, you're not seeing that. Stop. In show. There we go. Can you see that? All right, so you try this yourself. Please don't DDoS me. It's free. So it's just a thing to show you how it works. Please. We got crushed at Southern Data Science Conference, and it went down. It is on a easy to 0.5 right now, so please. Okay. So let's say I'm not going to read my emails in front of you guys, but these are all of the different toolkits that you can use. So you can pay for stuff. You can change the song. You can go look up stuff on X. You can use Firecrawl, which is what we call Wib. We're actually changing that back to Firecrawl. You can read your Outlook emails. You can, and all from one interface. So like if I said the GitHub example. Yeah, let's do that. So, star the Arcade.AI, Arcade-AI repo on GitHub. And assuming I have internet, yeah. And you see. Now, why didn't it give me that link? Because I am signed into this service, which gives a unique username. This is the only part you're responsible for as a developer. You give us a unique username, the service and the scopes, and then you, in perpetuity, using that unique identifier, you can just get the right token for that end user of that agent. And so this problem for the developer goes away. No more static process.env, ever. Like, we're doing away with that process. And so now you can see, let's do something more interesting. Get the last 3 PRs from Arcade.AI, Arcade.AI, and tell me about them. Now we'll use the get PR tool, I believe. Yeah, descending, list pull requests. There you go. Now, you might be wondering, like, Slack reply tools. Oh, I didn't see that one today. List emails by property. Always cool stuff. My team is great. I love them. You can click on any of these just to show you that they're real. They are real. Please go star the GitHub repo. Do me a favor. And all of these work. I don't know. Does anybody want to see a different example? Like I'm pretty much, I have way more of these examples, so I just want to make sure that I'm okay on time and that everybody's still interested. So is there any example of one of these tools that people would like to see? Is there, I can do a bunch of them. Yes. Okay, let's, X. It's X. It's X. Don't offend Elon. He might buy GitHub. Oh no, we got coverage there actually. Never mind, I forgot. Here, we'll do a new chat. There we go. Okay, so post on X, or let's say Twitter. Let's make it challenging. Post on Twitter that I'm having a great time at GitHub. People always give me flack about that. HQ right now.
You sound like it with that way you said that.
Fair. Well, I'm typing. It's different. Okay, so I don't think I've logged into Twitter. Yep, there we go. So this is the auth experience. Now we put a little fancy modal around this because my front end guy is electric, but you can see open auth page. Assuming Twitter auth hasn't dumped the refresh tokens today. Okay, well, this is. Boop. Boop. This is my fault for being so autofill. Not the right password. Great. Okay. Is it this one? This isn't my app, okay? So don't blame me for my not knowing my password. Okay, so this is what happens on this page. You'll get this authorized dev, Arcade.dev wants to use it on behalf of you, and you can see exactly what it's going to do, okay? Notice that's the minimal amount of things for posting. So I'll authorize, I might have waited too long. Okay, no, we're good, okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now you can see, you can pop down. Since it polls for the authorization from the service itself, bang, tweet text, there's the URL. It says, okay, and now I will have to delete this later. Thank you. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it up. Everybody go like it for me. Yeah. That was rushed, so I'm happy to stay around. And I'm, again, really sorry for being late.
Thank you so much, Sam, for this amazing talk. We have we have 2 minutes for questions. Any questions for Sam?
Does that get around the two-factor for GitHub? Your auth mechanism
Yes.
there, it looks like?
So it's the same auth flow. So once we go and we initiate the auth flow, whether it's going to handle to...
Get a mic.
Oh, okay. My apologies.
Yes.
Testing. It's the same auth flow. So once we kick off the auth flow, and that part of the auth flow is done by the service, they could have 29-factor, and it doesn't matter. Which sometimes it seems like sites really do have like a million factors.
I was curious about any guardrails that you might have put in, because you put in all the authentication, and next thing I know, like you send an email to your boss that I'm resigning. So what about stuff like that?
Yeah, so there's definitely, hopefully I would show you, but go to api.arcade.dev, and you'll be able to see all the audit logs and trails and which users have which scopes at which permissions. And so we give you like a certain amount of visibility into what you've allowed your agent to do and what users allow your agent to do what they want to do by service, by scope, by claim. So if you ever feel uncomfortable with it, you can always click the big old revoke button. That is, it's also there's a huge part of this product that's an auth platform that you like. It has a very Okta feel to it, not surprisingly. Oh, so like human in the loop. Yeah. We are the tools layer. So we will, if you want to do an auth check, when you call auth.authorize, you will get back a authorization response. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your app. If you want your app to do human in the loop, great. But a lot of the times that's going to be a background agent that you just want up. And that would be prohibitive, right? So LangGraph, really good for this. I believe the OpenAI Agents API, we have examples out with now. If you check our docs, we have examples for doing like human in the loop style stuff. And also you can use integrations to then also send the user messages. So like if you want to do, are you sure you want to post that on Twitter as a text message using Twilio? You can do that. Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Thank you so much, Sam. No worries. You have to come back again now.
Anytime.
All right. I want to make sure that we have some time for networking. So before we wrap up, again, I just want to make sure that you all know that we are coming next June 11th here for the monthly AI show and tell. But if you feel like coming to the other events that are being hosted over here, just go to the Luma page. You can scan the QR codes. And then every event is being recorded. So if you missed some of our past events, like the one that we had with Cedric, my colleague and co-organizer of this event, and thank you, Molly, also from Microsoft for helping all the time with everything. If you want to go and check this talk, we had Amika, and then we had Cedric doing a very interesting avatar talking to the robots. You can scan these QR codes, and it goes straight to this video. We have had 2 events so far, so we have the 2 videos up. Tonight's video is going to be up maybe in 2 days or so. So if you want to revisit what we talked about today, go over there. Thank you so much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the night. We still have a few minutes. Thank you.